Hi, Chico here, and if you are watching this behind the scene video, then it is obvious you just probably finished watching my short film, Reasons. In that case, I will say thank you for taking a few minutes of your time and taking a look at it. I'm just gonna just dive right into this video here. The whole reason behind me doing that film was to try and answer a question that has been on my mind for a while now. And basically, that question is, can After Effects basically work as a full-blown DI grading and finishing environment? We all know After Effects to be very good with composite and effects, etc. But can I treat an After Effects like I would treat a smoke or an avid or an assimilate scratch? All these three applications are something that I use on a daily basis, depending on the project and what has to be done. Sometimes for film, I could just basically finish everything up in an assimilate scratch. Sometimes there are certain things I need to do that Scratch cannot handle. In this case, I would depend on Smoke or Avid. But my question was, if After Effects could conform a film, okay, basically get your lot cuts, maybe an XML or AAF or whatever it is from your NLE, and be able to conform it in After Effects. And not only do you conform it, you have the capability to do some slight editing, slipping of frames here and there, okay, and basically do your composite and effects. Then I believe After Effects could be on the same rank as a Smoke or Avid. And it's going to also help freelancers who don't have the budget to basically afford a DS, a Smoke, or a Scratch. So that was the whole idea behind this film. Okay, the idea came after I saw the behind the scenes video from the motion picture Social Network, where the assistant editor actually said that the whole film was basically conforming After Effects. Honestly, as a post-production person, when I heard that, I was blown away. And I sat down there for minutes trying to figure out if at least he's going to give a hint on how he did it. But let's face it, man, a lot of these movies, they don't really tell you the procedures they go through. Okay, they're just going to just throw the idea at you and basically have to go out there and just figure it out yourself. So I said, let me figure it out myself. All right. And hence this project here, Reasons. Okay. So with every post-production process, you start with the stage of editing, which is basically getting your cuts together. Okay, and once the cuts are locked, all right, you could now basically send out an AAF, an XML, or EDL. Okay, for those who are still old school, and you bring it into a high-end finishing application, okay, where you basically conform that AAF or EDL or XML, relink it to the original file media, okay, so your R3Ds and your .movs, etc. Then you proceed to finishing it, okay, so then you could do things like color grading, you could do things like painting, you could do things like adding effects, okay, etc., etc. All right, so my idea was I finished my cut. Okay, I sent out an AAF. Now, instead of me sending it out to any of the three applications on the Smokes or DS or Scratch, which I normally use on a daily basis, why don't I see if I could conform this in After Effects and basically finish the whole thing? So basically conform, do some slight trimming if I have to, okay, then proceed to adding my effects, proceed to doing color treatments, etc. All right, so that was the whole idea behind this. If After Effects could serve as a finishing application. Okay, let me step out here from Media Composer real quick. I was going to record the screen and show you guys some of the process that you would take when you're finishing in probably, in my case, on Assimilate Scratch. But the huge problem I was having at any time that I recorded it, I find out that when I play it back, everything is just black. Okay, so I think it has to do with the recording application that I'm using. Okay, so I just basically took some stills so I could show you guys. Okay, so the first stages of conforming is basically loading the conform. Okay, so as you can see, I'll go and load in my AAF. All right. Usually for an application like Scratch, I would already have the original media files, sorry, already in my construct. Okay, for those of you who don't know about Scratch, you're going to be confused some of the terms I'll use. Okay, but the files are going to be there. Just think of a construct like a folder. Okay, or for some people will say, okay, you call it a project folder. Okay, and in that project folder, I'm going to have all these original media files waiting to be conformed to an AAF. And the AAF basically is just a little small file that has information of every single cut that came from my NLE. Okay, so I do that and I conform it. And once that is conformed, this is how my conform is going to look. So now, as you can see, I have all the tracks. And the same way it was cut in Avid, I have it here in my conform. Okay, and usually for what I do, anytime that I have to conform in a higher finishing environment, I'll usually send out a QuickTime movie of my sequence. Okay, so I'll send out maybe a 720p, something that is a little bit, just a proxy, because I don't really need it. The only reason I need it is to just do some matching. All right, so as you can see, I'll just basically use it to match my cuts to make sure that my conform came through properly. If I scrub through and upload through and I realize that I'm missing some frames or some of the frames have slipped out of sync, I'll just slip them right back using the tools that are built into these applications. Okay, so these are some of the questions that I had. I mean, with an application like Scratch, this is what it's built for. So it is easy for me to do that. But can After Effects be up to the task? Okay, you could do things like blanking. Okay, so this film, when I was shooting it actually on the set, I had like a tape, okay, which I used to basically set markers for 2:3:5 blanking I was going to do. So it was shot for that aspect ratio. So I could do that in here. Okay, can that be done in After Effects? So these are like little minor things, all right, that when you finish and you might want to do. And the question is, if I could really hone in on the power that After Effects have, which is just compositing, and be able to have the extra leeway, okay, to be able to do things like conforming everything, all right, matching my cuts, all right, doing things like blanking, okay, then I could use that plus the power of After Effects, and I could actually treat it as a finishing tool. Okay, so the film you guys just saw, Reasons, believe it or not, the whole thing was conformed and done in After Effects. The whole conforming and finishing was done in After Effects, and I'm going to show you guys here so you see I'm aligned. So I'm going to go and open my project here. Cancel this. And there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the film you guys just saw. Okay, and let me just make this half because I'm doing a screen recording. As you can see, these things were not done in Media Composer in my Avid. Okay, the output blanket and everything was done here. As you can see, I have text. All right, so I have my opening credits and my end credits. Okay, I have my audio. Okay, if I step into my audio, you could see I actually have audio, so you could see the waveform. All right, so now the thing is, when I realized that this is doable, I kind of felt kind of like really ecstatic. Not me per se, okay, because personally, by the special grace of God, I have access to high-end finishing applications, so it's not a problem. Okay, but the thing for me was, in a case where let's just say that I didn't have the access to these applications, can I use After Effects to do this? All right, and as you guys can see, this is the whole timeline. As a matter of fact, I did everything here, rendered it out, put it on the internet, and that's what you guys just saw. Okay, so I'm just going to run you guys through the process of doing it so that you guys can see that this is actually doable. I'm going to say don't save it because I already have that saved. And I'll say, okay, so now the first step of conforming is to basically bring in your conforming material. Okay, so some applications you are required to have the original media files already in the project waiting. Okay, with After Effects though, it is not the case. All right, I could just basically go and say import, and I'm going to use a plugin that comes with CS6 Pro Import After Effects. Now, the thing about it is, because I would want to relink to the original media files, there are some things I have to do in my modify settings here. And it's already done. As you can see, I am telling the plugin to look into this drive, into this folder, and I have everything there. Okay, so it doesn't have to do a lot of work trying to find out where my media is. And also, under my Avid media, I just checked search for original imported graphic files. Okay, so that's all I had to do there. And I'll just basically select my let me make sure I'm in the right directory. Here I am. Select my AAF from Media Composer, import, and it's faster than real time. Okay, it's going to tell me here that some layers are not supported. Reason being, in my final lock cut, I actually had some film dissolves, which After Effects does not support. But one thing I love about After Effects is even once you conform, if there is anything there that wasn't coming through, any effect that wasn't coming through, what it does is it creates locators. I'm sorry, markers. I mean, I say locators a lot because I'm an old school Avid guy. It creates markers, and it's going to let you know that this is what is supposed to be here. So you could recreate it if you want to. Okay, now as you can see, my conform is here. It went ahead and created a composition for me, and also it created a folder which has all the elements that is part of my AAF. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open my composition here, and as you can see, this is my locked cut from Avid. So this is my locked cut. Okay, and as I showed you guys on my steels, what I like to do is usually match my conform, okay, with my proxy. So the question is, can you do that in After Effects? And believe it or not, it was easier for me to do that. So I'm just going to go in and load my proxy file here. Okay, as you can see, 1280 by 720. Okay, and I used a photo JPEG codec. All right. So I'm gonna, before I do anything here, one of the things I'm also going to touch on here is what I did when I was actually, after the conform, before I started working on the finishing part of it, I decided to pre-comp each of the layers here. Reason why is that when I want to work on a layer, I just want to concentrate on just that layer. I don't want to see all these layers here because it's very confusing. Okay, so imagine, I mean, this is just a short film, and look at the layers here. So imagine if you had like a 90 minutes feature. I mean, you just go figure it out. All right, so basically, I make every layer a component on its own, and anytime I need to work on a layer, I basically just step into that layer, and all I'm going to see is just that clip. All right, that I could just concentrate on that without being confused with everything here. And imagine having to do a pre-comp every single layer is going to take a very long time. All right, in this case I had to use a script. Okay, and the script that I use is called Trim Compose. All right, Trim Compose is actually a free script, and if you need more information, I will suggest you check out the guys at videocopilot.net. All right, okay. So I'm just going to tell it to add 48 frames of handles, just in case I need to do some slipping. I'll do that. And as you can see, it's faster than real time. Okay, now I have pre-comps of everything. So, and anytime if I want to work on this layer, I just double click and step into that. And as you can see, all I'm seeing is just this layer. So I'm not confused with everything else. All right, I could just concentrate on him and take care of that. Okay, all right, so that's the idea behind that. Okay, so now I have to match my cuts. How do I do that? I'm just going to drag my proxy file, as you can see, 1280 by 720, and put it on top of all my layers here and leave it there. And right now, as you can see, it's acting as an orphan, you know, seeking attention. Hey, it's me, it's me. You know, I don't really want him to be there, all right? I will want to have something like this, where I have a double view, and basically when I play through, they play together and they show me the cuts. All right. So I already did this. Okay, so After Effects is going to remember the last thing I did. So, but I'm going to show you guys how you're going to do this. What I do is I shut off this layer, as you can see. Just shut it off there. Double click it, and as you can see, I have a double viewer here. But in your case, it's not going to be a double view. As I said, I already did this, so After Effects remembers that. In your case, it's going to be this way. Okay, so you're going to have two windows, but they're not going to be side by side. Okay, if you want to make it side by side as it was, so that you could basically match the cuts together, all right, you basically go to your in my case here is the proxy file, and I'm just basically going to undock that and put it on the side here and create a second window, and that's it. Okay, so now I could just scrub through, and on each cut I could see the changes. Okay, so this is my proxy, this is my conform file, so I could see that my conform came through basically well. Okay, the cuts are all matching, and again, I can't stress this enough. This is After Effects, guys. Okay, this is things that I would do in a smoke, or I would do in a scratch. All right, and this little application that a lot of people don't even respect too much has come this far. Okay, so my cuts came in good. All right, it's ready to go. So I'm just gonna get rid of this and just delete this. I don't need it anymore. Okay. What else? Another thing that I was showing was okay, blanking. Okay. Believe it or not, it was also kind of easier for me to put my 235 aspect here. Okay. What I'll do here is I'll just go and create a new solid. Okay, make sure it's oh, I created a light. Ooh. Make sure it's comp size. Okay, a black solid, and I'll say okay. All right, so now I have a black solid on top of all my layers. I'm gonna go ahead and create a second solid, but this time instead of a 1080 height, okay, I'm gonna change it to 817, which basically is gonna give me a 235 aspect ratio, and I'll say okay. All right, so I have two solid layers here. All right, I'm gonna use the first layer that I created, okay, and use it as a track matte for my second layer. So I'll come here to my track matte, and I'll say use alpha inverted, and I have a 235 blanking on this. Okay, and the great thing about it is now I also have the ability to do things like reframing if I want to. So if I want to reframe this layer here, I just go into my position and I just offset my Y values and just reframe it. All right, so you could do all of that here in After Effects. Okay. So once that is done, okay, I do I've done my conform, checked all my cuts. If I had to do any kind of slipping, basically it's easy because I have controls here. Okay, so I have handles. I could just as you guys could see, okay, I could do some trimming, whatever I want to do. Okay, if I have to slip the frames, I could do that. Okay, because I have, as I showed you guys, I actually conformed it with some handles. I didn't conform with handles actually. I pre-comped it with handles. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and undo that. All right, so everything is done. So now that the hardest part of it, which is the whole conform process, is taken care of, now you could actually just hone in into the power of After Effects and start doing things to it. Okay, so do color treatment. And last thing I'm also going to touch on, I know some of you argue and say, okay, some of these applications like the Assimilate Scratch and the Smokes, they have powerful color grading environments built into it. And who said After Effects don't? You see, the problem is a lot of you guys just don't like to use things that are built in. Okay, but After Effects actually comes with this very powerful color grading plugin called Color Finesse. All right, so you don't really have to really spend extra money for a plugin. You could just use that. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys how this works in a second. So let's just say I just want to do some color treatment for this layer here. So I'm just going to step into the layer, drag this on top of that. Okay, and I'm just going to step into the color finesse. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, and as you guys can see, I mean, it doesn't get better than this. All right, I have my scopes here. Okay, I have different color grading tools that I could use. Okay, secondaries. All right, and basically you could just take advantage of that and just apply a grade to your conformed clip. And this is same thing you're gonna do in a smoke. Okay, this is the same thing you're gonna do in an avid DS. The same thing you're gonna do in an assimilate scratch. Okay, once you're done, you click OK. It takes you back to After Effects. All right, and basically just do that for every clip. All right, and with the addition of having different effects and doing things like painting and etc. etc. Okay, so this is gonna be the end of my video here. I don't know if I made any sense in what I just showed you guys, but I was just really happy presenting this to you guys. Okay, so for those of you who did not know, this is very possible. Okay, so right now you know that you could basically really finish or treat After Effects as a finishing environment, and basically just let your images pop, all right, and give it the kind of quality that you always dream of making it be, but you just didn't have the money for maybe a smoke or these high-end applications. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Another thing I'm going to say is that as at the time that I did this test, I didn't try out XMLs, okay, or EDLs. So far, the test that I've run for this, at least for this film here, it was just an AAF conform. All right, maybe in the future I'll try to see if EDLs are possible or XMLs. All right, but just to let you guys know, this is available to you. And from my verdict, I believe After Effects could be a finishing and a grading environment. I mean, if you would want to use it to that extent or to that effect. All right. So thanks you guys for watching the film itself. Thank you guys for watching the behind the scene video, and I hope you guys learned something. All right. Thanks.